As it turns to dusk here, just short of 8 p.m., this second race is going to be a night race. As we see the beautiful backdrop here in Germany, Nürburgring GP circuit. It's a beautiful evening. It's been a beautiful night for racing. And the flag's up and throttles are down. We start race 2 here from the Nürburgring. And Moreau's gonna look to the inside of Patton. And they're gonna go side by side. Green trying to get in on a piece of the action as well. Milwaukee looking to the inside of him. Moreau now on the outside. Patton gonna tuck in behind though as they go into turn 2. And Justin Wills able to retain that lead and already build a car length of 2 gap on the rest of them. Moreau slightly wide there in turn 3. Green on the back of him now. Going to try and take a look. Trying to get the crossover move. He's going to get to the inside. Going to make slight contact there. Moreau just able to squeeze ahead with the superior speed of that Lamborghini. As they do good to clear out those pesky cones. As Patton gets onto the grass on the exit of turns 5. And that's going to allow Moreau and Green to close up to him. Green right on the back of Moreau. Whereas Milwaukee, he's already a little separated from this front pack. And Moreau and Patton gonna run wide. Green not able to make good use of it though as he goes for a spin on his own. Let off the brakes too aggressively there, just went for a spin. And that's gonna bump him back. Moreau's still off the back of Patton as they both run wide, and Schumacher S taking a lot of curb there. No. As Moreau all over the back of Patton will have a big advantage here. 2 long straightaways await them, and Moreau has a superior speed. That's Trofeo. He's going to close up huge here. Will he be able to make a move into the chicane? He looks to the inside, but it's a fake. He moves back in line. Patton going to check up there through the chicane, and they almost make contact. Moreau sliding on the exit. And that leaves Milwaukee to close in on Moreau now. As they come through the final turn, Milwaukee gets a bit sideways himself. And that Mercedes does not have the speed of this Lamborghini. As Moreau laid on the brakes, he's going to shoot to the outside to avoid contact, but he's way out wide. As Milwaukee going to sweep underneath, but he's going to be on the outside of turn 2. Can Moreau defend? He's going to sweep out and chop him at the nose. They make slight contact there. Milwaukee able to cross over. Milwaukee going to be on the inside of turn 3. Can Moreau power around the outside? And Milwaukee's going to have the position. Moreau going to have the inside, but Milwaukee able to sweep around. And who is that behind Moreau? That's Azale now behind Moreau. Can Azale get around him? And Moreau trying to fight forward, but he keeps falling back. Struggling early in this race. And Moreau all over the back of Blake now. And they're nose to tail. Moreau's going to pop out, try and make a move into turn 7. What will he be able to do? He's down the inside. He's got a wheel to wheel, and he's going to get him under the braking zone, but he's going to go way too deep. He's way too deep. He's out into the gravel. And Milwaukee going to be able to defend that position. Azale going to move up into 4th place now. Moreau with a big lunge, and it was too much. It was too greedy. And now he's falling back to 5th, losing another spot. Exactly what Justin Wills needs to see. His competitor struggling in the mid-pack here, as he's now away to a comfortable lead. And now Spencer Green trying to now overtake Moreau. Will he be able to close up the gap, or will Moreau be able to focus forward and make some overtakes and get back onto the podium? As Azale way wide into turn 1, taking all of the pavement available to him. Trying to focus forward, take the fight to Blake. He totally cuts that corner, no regard for the curves or the white lines. Out wide on the exit of turn 5 again. Right up into the grass there, and he's going to get way loose on the exit of turn 6, and he's out into the grass. It shot his car into the grass. He was able to save it, but he had to take a huge stab of brake. And now he's fallen way back, and it's going to be a long charge forward if he wants to get back up to Justin Wills to take the lead, or have an opportunity to take the lead. As we move back through the field, and the 3 through 6, all relatively close, but no one in striking distance just yet. As we see Moreau running way wide there on turn 10. And Isaac gonna overshoot the chicane. He takes none of the curb. He goes right to the grass in the second part. Milwaukee running wide, and Coca-Cola and Azale's gonna be underneath as they rejoin. They almost make contact there, and now they are are gonna be nose to tail here as they go down the front straightaway. Azale gonna pull out, move to the inside, all the way down to the pit wall. What will Azale be able to do under brakes? And it's a slight lockup from Azale, and he's going to be a little too shallow. Blake's going to be able to hold him off and defend that position. And it was a good attempt there from Azale, but pinched himself too much there, and he's going to run out wide on the exit of turn 2. Now Moreau going to look for an opportunity into turn 3, a launch underneath. And it's just going to be too tight for Moreau to do anything. Can he get a switchback out of turn 4? And he does. He gets a switchback there side by side out of turn 4. And Moreau trying to move up into 4th place now. He's got it coming into turn 5. Able to capitalize there as Isaac tried to focus forward and ended up leaving the door open from behind. And now Moreau going to take the plate to Blake Milwaukee and try and get back onto this podium. And Milwaukee running deep through turn 7. Moreau going to be able to close up there. Not sure what happened in the earlier stages of this race. Moreau started to go backwards, but now he's fighting forward once again, able to find that focus as Milwaukee runs deep in Schumacher S. Tricky part of the track, and he struggled all day there. Moreau now closing up into turn 10. What will he be able to do? Late on the brakes, closing up. Not a super tighty line. Milwaukee running wide, and he's deep in this corner as well, turn 11. Moreau's going to get a great drive out of the corner, and he's going to shoot up the inside as they come down towards the kink on the back straightaway. Moreau to the inside as they make slight contact. He's going to push Blake out into the gravel, and Moreau going to move up into 3rd place, and Milwaukee all the way back to 5th now as Azale goes through as well. That slight contact in that part of the track just pushed him wide. Both run deep into the entrance of turn number 15. And Milwaukee in the slipstream of Azale as they go down the front straightaway. Will he be able to make a move into turn 1? He looks to the inside, but nothing yet. What will he do? Pulls out late, hard on the brakes, way deep. Will he get it slowed down in time? The answer is no. Azale's going to sweep back in front. That earlier braking helped keep him in 2nd place for now, or excuse me, in 4th place for now. And Milwaukee looking at another chance into turn 3. Tried to get underneath him there, didn't have it. And he's going to slide on the exit, and that's going to give Azale some breathing room for now. And Spencer Green dives into the pit lane to take his stop for Michelin Tire, Sunoco Fuel, and it looks like he's going to have some repair as well. Justin Wills now stretched his lead out to 3 seconds over AJ Patton. Looked like he might have been able to keep touch with him early on, but a few mistakes have allowed Wills to pull away. Back Moreau now up into 3rd place. Milwaukee all over the back of Azale again into turn 10, late on the brakes. Can he go for an outside move? Not able to, not a conventional passing spot, and I would have been surprised if he would have been able to do that. Now coming out of turn 11, both touching the gravel just a little bit. And Aston Martin just pulling away now. Down the back straightaway, Milwaukee going to have to look into turn 1 if he wants to make this move soon. And takes a lot of curve there on the entrance. I don't know if that was within track limits or not. As they come through the final turn, both finally able to keep it tighty. and Milwaukee's going to again be in that slipstream, but the Aston Martin seems to have a lot of speed down the straightaways. Will we see another huge lunge from Milwaukee here, or will he have learned? He's going to play it conservative, but he's still going to make up time on the brakes. And Azale was a little conservative there into the braking zone. That'll allow Milwaukee to close back up. There's still a battle here for the final podium spots. Azale out way wide using all of the pavement, and he's deep into the entrance of turn 3. Milwaukee going to get to the side, do another crossover move on the exit of turn 4. We've seen that so many times, but he doesn't quite have the drive to do it. Azale going to keep the position for now. And a fantastic battle from these two for the podium. Azale a little deep into turn 5, and Milwaukee got to his outside, but they door bang, and that's going to push Milwaukee into the gravel in turn 6. Milwaukee got right up to the side. Isaac just twitched the car a little bit, trying to come up too early, trying to anticipate where Blake was, and misjudged it. And that pushes Blake right off the track into the gravel. And Blake's going to have to, as he goes deep into the gravel there in turn 7, he's out of his focus zone after that. You know, the heart rate spiked there as he lost some focus trying to recover that car in turn 6. Now he's got to close up a 7-second gap if he wants to get back into this podium fight. As we go back to the leader, Justin Wills, who's now extended this gap over 10 seconds. With a huge drive today in the second race after having that mechanical. It seems like mechanicals are the only thing barring him from these race victories. He has the pace almost every round we've been to so far, but the unfortunate reliability issues in this Lamborghini for him have held him back and have held him from his championship. As we move on board with Spencer Green. And now we see Moreau promoted up to second. Milwaukee coming down the pit lane to take his service. 4 Michelin tires and no fuel required to get the stop. Makes that slow trundle down the pit lane now. As we make it halfway through this 25-minute race, just 12.5 minutes left to go. And it seems like Justin Wills has a decisive grip on this race so far. Will we see any shakeups in the second half of this race? We've seen a fantastic battle so far throughout the field, especially for the podium positions. Wills totally missed the chicane there, totally missed the second part. He's in the lawn mowing business now too for Lamborghini, but we'll see if that'll be a factory or customer effort depending on Oh, and Oscar deep into the wall there in turn 1. No more braking boards. These drivers are just going to have to feel it. And they may need to start getting in touch with their meditation and feel the zen of the braking boards. As we see Moreau now coming down the pit lane to take his service, as well as Isaac Azale. 4 fresh tires and Sunoco fuel for these two. As Moreau makes his stop in the first box. Will he take any damage repair? I don't know if his car was struggling with it or not, or if he was able to rectify those pace issues. Azale in the pit box right behind him. As Pat now coming down the front straightaway, passing pit lane now as we see Azale and Moreau still stationary. Pat now passed both of them. He's going to retake second place, so no funny business happened there in the pit cycle for Patton. Justin Wills now with a huge lead. He has yet to make his stop. It must be said he's looking at a bit of an overcut here as we're over halfway through this race. And Moreau and Azale now back out on track after serving their mandatory pit stop. And it looks like Justin Wills now is diving into the pit lane to take his mandatory stop in box number 4. That's going to be 4 Michelin tires and Sunoco fuel for him. And luckily, no mechanical issues this time around. It's just going to be a straight service for him. As Zale out wide in turn 7. Can Milwaukee close this gap? Just under 9 minutes left. Can he get back up and challenge for a podium position? And Pat now coming into the final turn, and Wills is back out on track already. So Pat not able to make anything in the pit cycle, as we see Wills now coming down into turn 1. As we see Moreau now coming down the front stretch now. And he's into the grass, just slightly into the entry of his braking zone, and that's going to send him way wide. Lucky nothing worse came of that, but he just clipped a bit of grass there. And of course the braking markers have been all cleaned out. So you're really just playing a game of guess who with where you want to stop. And boy, there are a lot of options left. As we see Moreau get slightly sideways on the curve of 3. And Dezo Covey in that Covey Racing Honda, the difficulties continue for him as he makes contact with the wall there on the exit at turn 11. Of course, he's pulling double duty this weekend. He's getting in his Todd Covey Enterprises private jet, leaving right from the track and heading down to Daytona for the Champ Car Daytona 14 Hours. He'll be partaking in this weekend in his other Covey Racing Honda entry, the Acura Integra. As we see Covey with a big wiggle there on the exit of the final turn. And this race has started to quiet down here in the final moments. Big gaps from everyone as the sun is now set and it's starting to become night. We see the track starting to get darker and these floodlights are on. On board with Wills, and he doesn't need those braking boards. He nailed that one perfectly, running a little wide, but keeping it relatively tighty for no boards. We've seen a lot of people struggle since they've been gone. And Pat not really able to close up. His gap has been pretty stable around 10 to 11 seconds. Milwaukee been able to close this gap down to Isaac Azale. Will he have enough time? 5.5 minutes left to go. Can he take another chance at trying to move up to the 4th? And of course, Pat trying to win GT-AM here in the overall championship. Milwaukee, your current point leader. Milwaukee has a bit of a buffer, but he would really prefer to get as many points as he can and minimize the damage that Patton's able to do. So trying to get up into that 4th place would be big for him. And Covey out wide in turn 1. No braking boards, it's been a struggle. And it sounds like Covey once again having more issues with brakes. We thought that it had all been cleared up, but it seems that that is not the case. And again, more issues, but these are of course not the Hawk rotors you'd be familiar with. And that sure shows you the caliber of driver we have in league nights. We have a Sebring 12-hour winner, and he's been struggling in this field. It says a lot about the caliber we have in this field. Small but talented. Ramona only hisses, so we know it's not her. Oh yeah, only to you? Oh, does that make you feel good? Milwaukee been able to close that gap up another second, but he's still got 3.5 seconds to close before he can try make another overtake. 4th place, just 2 minutes 40 left in race number 2 here, as it continues to get darker here around the circuit as it falls to night. Let's see. Both keep it tidy on the brakes, but Zale going to run wide on the exit of turn 1. Milwaukee keeping it much tighter as they both completely miss the apex in turn 2. But Zale now looking at less than a 2-second buffer. Milwaukee has closed up this gap big time. And as we mentioned before, we know Milwaukee's an aggressive driver when it comes to overtakes. And you've got to think that he will want to show his displeasure after what happened at this very part of the track several minutes ago. And Azale out in the gravel. He missed the entry to turn 6 and he's out in the gravel. And Milwaukee's not going to have to do anything. He can just sweep underneath and make that move for 4th place. And that's almost a little bit of karma there, as that's the very spot that Azale had pushed him wide. And now Azale going to run wide all on his own. Milwaukee making that move back up to 4th place. Has Azale wide again in turn 7. As Wills crosses the line for your Credit One Bank final lap. And he's led a dominating race today, 9 seconds up on Patton, and little concern for losing the lead as he runs a bit wide into turn 1 there, getting it just a little bit on the grass in the entry of the braking zone. He's just got to bring this one home. No reason to worry. Patton can only push so hard. There's only so much time left to find on this track. As Azale getting some airtime there over the curbs through the chicane, trying to find some time to chase back down Milwaukee, but not going to be able to do it doing things like that. This is no rally car. And the clock hits 0-0 as we know, final lap, as it turns to night. Wills has led start to finish race number 2. He had built a big lead in race number 1. Mechanical issues took him out once again. And he's making good on that pace he showed in the first race, as he's led almost every single lap. And we've seen him face a lot of adversity this season, a lot of car troubles that were out of his control, and a lot of incidents that were out of his control. And of course we saw it cost him the points lead for the championship, but he's responded brilliantly here today, and he's done everything in his control to show that he's the fastest driver on this track. And as the sun is finally set and we celebrate into the night, it'll be Justin Wills coming out on top as he comes around to the front straightaway. Justin Wills is your race 2 winner here in Knights Racing League Nights. Justin Wills wins once again here, doing it at the Nürburgring in spectacular fashion. Patton coming across the line in 2nd place. And Moreau coming into the final turn trying to secure another podium for him. And a bit of a weird day for him, but able to make a nice recovery after struggling early on. He's going to take home your last podium spot. And he's going to maintain that points lead in Super Trofeo as they go into the final round next weekend for your season finale here of season 3.